Well, in this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, what's on the mind of millennials? From work, adjusting to children, and managing finances, the lives of young professionals are a constant balancing act. To talk about how one family sets priorities and handles the challenges, our own Jim Russell, senior equity strategist with U.S. Bank, is joined by Nolan Kamer, a portfolio manager with U.S. Bank. Jim and Nolan.
Peg, thank you. Good morning, everybody. This morning, we're going to take a slightly different tack on the Economic 360. We have with us Nolan Kamer, one of the best and brightest, and representing the millennial generation. Nolan, thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me, Jim.
Now, there's so many things going on in your life. You have a graduate school program going on. You have a young family. You have a challenging career. Tell me how you keep it all together in a 24-hour period. How do you allocate your time?
Well, time is such a valuable resource that my wife and I try to be as efficient as possible. We find that we take a three-step approach that helps us to use our day as best as possible. First off, we divide and conquer. And we take our tasks,
right,
and each goes our separate way, and we get those tasks completed. Secondly, we really focus on communication. It's the backbone to our relationship. In addition to that, it keeps us in the loop on what each of us has coming down the pipeline so that we don't get overwhelmed. And then third, we understand that marriage isn't always a 50-50 proposition. You know, there are times where my wife is busy and I'll pick up the slack a little bit, but then more times than not, she's picking up my slack a little bit as well.
A man wise beyond his years, no question about it. So let's narrow the focus just a little bit to financial priorities. Lots of things tugging at your world there as well. Saving for a home, retirement, your young son, financial considerations there, as well as educational savings. If you don't mind sharing, tell us a little bit about your prioritization there as well.
Absolutely. Finances, it's a whole different animal. You know, sometimes they're a little more difficult to talk about, as well as priorities change so quickly. When my wife and I first met, you know, we just had to take care of ourselves, and
right,
not a lot of responsibility. Now that we've begun to start a family, those priorities have changed immensely. But we try to keep things as simple as possible. And we have a couple buckets that we allocate income towards. The first one being, you know, the typical bills that we have each month, day-to-day expenses from gas to food, things that you can't skip. It's a must. So we focus on that. But then a second bucket we put a lot of attention towards, and those are more long-term items, such as saving for my son's college education,
right,
as well as our retirement. And then we put some focus into building an emergency fund so that if something does occur, we're prepared financially for it.
Nolan, you'll be graduating with an MBA designation on May 11th. Congratulations. From Xavier University. That is huge. Along with that, though, usually comes student debt. Many people struggle with this particular thing in their personal financial situation. Can you tell us quickly how you deal with that particular aspect?
Certainly. Going back for the MBA was a decision that we thought was a great investment, and we knew that some student debt would come with that. So you know, we focus on that as, you know, we pay that off each month. And we also try to pay it off as quickly as possible, allocating a little bit of additional income towards that, so that finish line is a little bit closer.
Understand. Look forward to visiting with you on other aspects of the millennial experience and in weeks ahead. Thank you very much for your visit today.
Great. Thanks for having me, Jim.